Jai Narayan students, hope the previous lessons which we have studied, you all have understood it properly. Now, this is the fifth week of our online teaching, and now this week we are going to study the chapter Deep Water from our textbook Flamingo. The author of this Deep Water chapter is William Douglas. Before starting, I would like to tell you something about William Douglas, about the author. So, William Orville Douglas. He was born on October 16th, 1898, and he died on January 19th, 1980. He was an American jurist and politician who served as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. At the age of 4, William was stricken with polio. So, to strengthen his spindling legs, he began hiking and later the mountain climbing. That became one of his characteristic signature. Nominated by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Douglas was confirmed at the age of 40 as one of the youngest justices appointed to the Supreme Court. His term, lasting 36 years and 209 days, that is from 1939 to 1975, is the longest term in the history of the Supreme Court. He wrote few autobiographies including Go East, Young Man, The Early Years 1974 and The Court Years 1980. Now, in Deep Water, let me tell you about the characters. Here, we'll meet with William Douglas. He is also the narrator of the story. He, as a child, he got afraid of water due to two frightening incidents in his childhood, but later on overcame his fear with sheer determination and willpower. Now students, I'll tell you about the theme of the story. The author, William Douglas, talks about his fear of water and how he finally overcame it. Here, William Douglas, he narrates an autobiographical incident that occurred when he was 10 or 11 years old and he almost drowned in the YMCA swimming pool. So, as a result, he developed a fear of water, which he was able to conquer after several years of sheer determination. Now comes the justification of the title. Let's justify why it is deep water. So, this extract is appropriately entitled Deep Water. Here, the author recounts his fear of swimming following an incident in which he had been swept away by a wave. Another incident which further aggravated his fear was when a bully boy pushed him into the deep side of a swimming pool and he nearly drowned. But slowly he overcame his fear through determination and strong will. He even took the services of an instructor. He swam in different pools and lakes to overcome his fear. The title also signifies that the author's fear was a deep-rooted one. In short, we can say so, that the title is appropriate. Now, what message do we get? The story Deep Water tells us how the writer overcame his fear of water and learned swimming through sheer determination and willpower. He had developed a terror of water since childhood. William Douglas was able to overcome his fear by sheer determination. The message conveyed by this story is that it is not death, but the fear of death that creates terror in our mind. So, that fear needs to be shaken off. Also, any fear can be conquered if we try hard enough. Now, let me tell you what are we going to study in this chapter. You can say so, introduction. Deep water, it tells us how the writer overcame his fear of water and learned swimming. He had developed a fear of water in childhood. When he was 3 or 4 years old, the writer had gone to California with his father. So one day, on the beach, the waves knocked him down and swept over him. He was terrified, but his father laughed as he knew that it was not harmful. The experience bred a permanent fear of water in the mind of William Douglas. Another incident, more serious, increased his terror. The writer was trying to learn swimming in the YMCA swimming pool. One day, while he was waiting for other boys, a strong physiqued boy of 18 suddenly played a dangerous prank and pushed him into the water. The writer was terribly frightened. He went down 9 feet into the water. His lungs were full of the unreleased air. When he reached the bottom, he jumped upward with all his strength. He came up, but very slowly. He tried to catch hold of something like a rope, but grasped only at water. He tried to shout, but no sound came out. Then, once again, he went down. Now, his lungs ached, head throbbed, and he grew dizzy. He felt paralyzed with fear. Only the movement of his heart told him that he was alive. Again, he tried to jump up, but this time his limbs would not move at all. He looked for ropes, ladders, and water wings, but all was in vain. Then he went down again the 3rd time. This time, all efforts and fear, they ceased. He was moving towards peaceful death. The writer, William Douglas, was at peace. When he came to consciousness, he found himself lying on the side of the pool with the other boy nearby and the coach remonstrating with him for nearly causing him to drown. As a result of the near-death experience, the terror that he had experienced in the pool never left him. It haunted him for years. It spoiled many of his expeditions of canoeing, swimming, fishing. It spoiled his pleasure in New Hampshire, Columbia, and Bumping Lakes, etc. But William Douglas was determined to conquer his fear. He took help of an instructor, swimming instructor, to learn swimming. The instructor taught him various actions necessary in swimming. He trained Douglas to put his face underwater and exhale, and inhale, raising it above water. He practiced this for several weeks. He had to kick with his legs for a few weeks on the side of the pool. At last, he combined all these actions and made Douglas swim. He then learned swimming, but the terror continued. Whenever he was in water, his terror returned and the author tried to face the new challenge. When the terror came, he confronted it by asking it sarcastically what it would really do to him. He plunged into the water as if to defy the fear. Once he took courage and terror vanished. He faced the challenge deliberately in various places like the warm lake. So, finally, he was able to conquer his fear of water. So now, dear students, this was about the chapter. Now all of you open your book on page number 23. I am going to read out the first paragraph. In the first part of this chapter, we'll come to know how author planned to learn to swim. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. So, here the writer is telling that it had happened when he was 10 or 11 years old. He decided that he would learn how to swim. In Yakima River, there was a pool at the YMCA, and that pool exactly offered the opportunity for him to learn swimming. The Yakima River was treacherous. Treacherous means dangerous. Now the narrator is telling that the Yakima River was very dangerous. Mother continually warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. Now here the narrator is telling that his mother, she continually kept on warning the narrator about the river, about the treacherous river, and kept fresh in the narrator's mind the details of each and every person drowning in that river. But the YMCA pool was safe. Here the narrator is telling Yakima River was treacherous, but YMCA pool was quite safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, and while it was 9 feet deep at the other. The drop was gradual. I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. Now here he is telling that YMCA pool was very safe. For the starters, it was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end. The person who starts swimming, they were to practice there, which was only 2 or 3 feet deep. But the deeper side was, for expert, it was 9 feet deep. But from 2 or 3 feet to 9 feet, the drop was very gradual. It was very slow. So here he is telling that he also got a pair of water wings. Pair of water wings means the wings which are fixed on the arm. He also took his water wings and went to the pool to learn swimming. So students, that's it for today. I hope you all have understood the introduction and this first paragraph. Thank you for today. Thank you.